All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking about real music and doing it in real time for a few real people out there, just like you and just like me. All right, I should talk about the algorithm and what's happening to this channel again, because it's radical. I mean, to lose about one third of your revenue in a week is just nuts. And the number of views total dropping in a way that I've never seen, as if somebody just took a knob and just turned it off, turned it off. Did a video about the debate, and I got 800 views on it. Yeah, 80,000 plus subscribers and 800 people. Was that like 1% or something like that? I don't know. Here's the band Grand, second to none. So let me just say this: if you can help with this channel, YouTube memberships, Patreon, buy me a coffee. All right. I had someone buy me a coffee say, hey, I like when you share new stuff. And so here's some new stuff. Second to none. If you like Toto, Foreigner, Journey, Grand is pretty cool. They're from Sweden. This came out early in the year, and nobody really promoted it. It got very little in the way of promotion, and I think it's really good from start to finish. It's up tempo too, so if you like your melodic stuff, fairly up tempo, except for maybe one or two songs, this is a great album to check out. So Sammy Hagar is out there, and he's talking about yet another best of both worlds tour. He didn't know if he could pull it off, but yeah, he's talking about this, saying here he can't express enough how impressed he was with the turnout and the vibe that everyone was laying down, singing the songs at the top of your lungs, every song. We thought we were playing deep tracks, and it turns out that you know those too. Well, here's the deal about the deep tracks. They're deep considering the playlists of today. Back in the day, deep tracks were all over rock radio stations, and now um, they don't go very deep. With Sammy Hagar, it's pretty pathetic how few songs are probably out there in the general playlist of the corporate media industrial complex. Which again, I don't know who decides what gets on the radio anymore. It's hard to know. He says here, so many of the shows sold out so quick. We could have did a bunch of multiples, meaning more shows in just one city. Uh, he says, I didn't want to overdo it because he wanted to see how his voice would hold up after all these years playing a 2 hour and 20-minute set, 24 songs. Physically, my body and I can tell you right now, my voice held up fine. I was very happy every night. So he says, I got in shape. So Sammy is working out. What, 76 years old? He's working out, trying to stay in shape. He talks about his band, plus Kenny Aronoff, who jumped in when Jason Bonham had that emergency family issue. And Kenny, who is just a great drummer, people don't realize how good Kenny Aronoff is. He's one of the best. He says, I don't know any other guys that could have pulled it together with the kind of professionalism and consistency and having fun with each other. He says here, it wasn't like hired guns. It was very professional. And we're actually friends, which is a little bit different than what Journey does when they play shows. I can tell you right now, I definitely want to do it again. And knowing how much I can do, it's going to be less of a mystery and more of a party. So I think it's kind of interesting that Sammy wants to go out and do this again. He says, we played 14 Van Halen songs that haven't been played for a long time. And this is the one phrase I think that got my attention. Mike and I really felt we're the only ones who want to carry the Van Halen flag around, which again, to me is sad that these guys are the only ones that want to keep Van Halen going. That's what they're basically saying here. Wolfgang wants to have nothing to do with it. Alex wants to have nothing to do with it. Dave has gone into seclusion or whatever, retirement. So you got to give Sammy credit because he's the biggest ambassador for this kind of music right now. And early on in the tour, he was having some difficulties. When they started out here in Florida, I watched some of that footage. He got better as time went on and made some adjustments. And again, for his age, I hate to be the guy who says, for what it is, it's really good. But for what it is really good. Is it as good as Sammy, 30 years ago? No, no way. But it's pretty good. It's good enough where, yes, go buy the tickets. I told folks if this happens again, I'll recommend that you should probably go out there and see whatever they call this band, Sammy and his Van Halenites. I don't know, but they should. It's too bad they can't use the name at this stage. It really is too bad they can't use the name. And people will say, well, it's not Van Halen without Eddie. Well, other bands have used band names with fewer original members, right? And with less of a link to the past. So these guys, I think, should be able to use the name. They'll sell more tickets. More people will be interested. Maybe you'll see a guest appearance by somebody, whether it's Dave or Alex. I doubt Alex will have anything to do with this, but he should. He should. I mean, this franchise shouldn't just die so suddenly. It should keep going. So my hat's off to Sammy for carrying the Van Halen banner around and wanting to do it, he and Mike. And I think it's good that people are showing up for this. If people weren't showing up for this, you can pretty much just throw dirt on the grave of melodic rock from the past, because you're not going to get anything more substantial than a Sammy Hagar tour with Michael Anthony and Joe Satriani and whatever drummer they choose, whether it's Jason or Kenny. Kenny Aronoff could be in this band for sure. I don't know. And it's good that they're carrying the banner around. And that's it. That's the video. Let me showcase Grand, Second to None, one more time. Folks, one more time about the channel. I will continue to do political commentary. I know some people don't like it, and I apologize, but there isn't that much to talk about in the world of classic rock. People used to send me stories, by the way, almost every day. I get very few stories that are music related. I get stories about how people are dropping dead suddenly for no reason. I get stories about political stuff or cultural stuff. That's it. I mean, I have a lot of patrons, and they used to send me a lot of music related content, but I don't get it anymore. So maybe they know I'm getting bored with it to some degree too, because it's not really that interesting. I wish it was. I wish there was more interest in the world of classic and melodic rock, but there just isn't. And so I have to adjust the channel accordingly. Please subscribe to the channel. If you enjoyed the Eric Clapton video, by the way, there's a new Eric Clapton interview I did out there. Has only 15,000 views on it. If it were any other media character here on YouTube, Rick Beato, for instance, it'd be over at least 200,000 by now, maybe 500,000. I don't know, but there would be a lot of views on it. And right now I've got 15,000 views. So, and people say, hey, you did a great job. Yeah, so great. I'm not getting any views on it. And a little correction, by the way, because somebody sent me a message. Yes, John Mayall is going into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So I kind of made the claim that he wasn't getting in and so forth. He is going in. He is getting that secondary award, though, kind of like Judas Priest got. And obviously, John passed away. So yeah, he's not going to be around to enjoy winning an award. And so these guys wait way too long. That's the whole point. He was 90, I think, when he passed away. They could have done this 20 years ago, 30 years ago. They waited until he was 90 to induct him into the Hall of Fame. So that's really the spirit of what I was getting at when I was talking to Eric about this. So anyway, folks, God bless you all. I will have commentary about last night's debate between Trump and Harris. That'll be coming up later. So you'll know not to watch it because, you know, you don't want to watch anything political.